Peace. This is Wise Words Media back at y'all for another round. And we seen it go down this past weekend. Undisputed versus undisputed. Champion versus champion. Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Charlo. And I've said it several times before the fight even went down. And I'll say it again. 14 pounds is 14 pounds. And like I stated in a video in the past, I don't like these type of fights. I don't like when fighters have to go 2 weight classes or more, because the biggest loser in these fights is us, the fans. Because when we watch these fights, we're thinking about these 2 names, but in all reality, it's a much bigger guy taking on a much smaller guy. And we seen another example of that this past weekend, where from the opening bell, you could tell from the face-off, when the referee was giving both men their instructions, you could see who the bigger guy was when they were standing side by side, or face to face rather. The bigger man by far was Saul Canelo Alvarez. Charlo was taller, but he was more frail, skinnier, compared to Canelo, who was solid. And from the opening bell, Canelo, who usually starts slow, was, because he usually likes to download information, how he's going to counter, because that's what Canelo, this version of Canelo that we've been getting lately, is just sitting on punches. He's waiting for one big punch. He's waiting for counter punching. So he's sitting there and he'll allow you to throw, so he could read, how you pull back your punch, how your body's in position after you punch. Do you pivot after you punch? Like stuff like that. He's trying to download the information. Both men in that first round combined, this is a combined, for 23 punches in total from both men. And both men only landed 1 punch. So Canelo said, really? Okay, this guy's showing me too much respect. See, Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo, what did he do from the opening bell? Because everybody said, Canelo's much bigger, he's much bigger. What did Floyd do? Ding, ding, ding. Floyd walked right up to him. And Floyd was putting that jab in his face from the very beginning, from the opening bell. Charlo was supposed to implement that. Charlo was supposed to come up to him, take the fight to him. Throw jabs, keep that distance, but score your points. Change the levels of the jab. Jab the stomach, jab the head, keep him guessing, and pivot. But no, Charlo was standing there. He looked scared. He was standing there. He wasn't letting his hands go. And on top of not letting his hands go, the absolute worst thing that he did was he kept putting himself on the ropes. He kept backing up. Amir Khan fought a better fight those first 3-4 rounds against Canelo than Charlo did. Amir Khan fought a better fight because Amir Khan kept the fight in the middle of the ring. Amir Khan kept the fight in the middle of the ring. He was jabbing and 1-2ing Canelo in the middle of the ring. He was not positioning himself against the ropes. And whenever Canelo tried to bully himself and get against the ropes, Amir Khan would circle out. And he would make sure he was not spending time against those ropes. Charlo, however, was living on those ropes. He would back himself up and then just shell up. He'll just go into a shell. And Canelo's like, okay, I see what's going on here. This guy, he's here for payday. He want payday. I know that. So Canelo said, all right, you're not going to throw punches, or you're going to make this night even easier. So that's when Canelo started teeing off. He started going to work. And Charlo was scared to throw his jab because he was feeling those studs. Even though he was blocking Canelo's shots earlier, he was feeling those studs. 14 pounds is 14 pounds. So he was feeling the power. So he didn't want to throw his jab and get caught with a counter left hook. Like, he didn't want to throw left hooks or jabs that night, you know? And it's a shame because the few times that Charlo actually did let his hands go, he was tagging Canelo. He was having a fair amount of success against Canelo the few times he actually let his hands go in the center of the ring, which was, I believe, the 5th round and the 9th round. He was actually in the middle of the ring, letting his hands go, and he was tagging Canelo with some very good combinations. But he did not continue that. He realized what he signed up for when he stood in that ring with Canelo face to face. We never seen Charlo like that. And it was because he was in over his head. Like, this is a man that's not one. Just think about this for a second. Listen to how it sounds. You have middleweight, right? But a part of the middleweight tree, you have junior middleweights, middleweights, and super middleweights. Jermell Charlo was never even fought at middleweight. He is a junior middleweight. Canelo is a super middleweight. Junior against super. That in and of itself tells you what you had to expect. This is going to be a bigger fighter that was going to have his way. But I thought it would be more competitive, you know. I figured Canelo would win because of the size advantage. But I thought Charlo would be more active. I thought he would pump his jab more. I thought he would change levels on Canelo, hit him with some body shots, especially since Canelo's known to gas out towards the end of the fight. But Canelo didn't have to move around. He didn't have to absorb punches. So Canelo, all he had to do is just go straight forward all night. And that's why he seemed like he had more energy, because he wasn't. When you take punches, that takes away from your energy. So Canelo was fresh. He was fresh. The only thing is that looks bad on Canelo is that he didn't even knock out a smaller opponent. That, you know, was a bad look on Canelo. But yeah, this fight went how it was supposed to go. Bigger man dominated. And I'm not interested in seeing Canelo versus what's his name? Versus Terrence Crawford. I'm not interested in that, because yes, Crawford has higher IQ than Charlo, and he will go on his shield and fight. But it's a bigger man, man. We're not talking about 2 weight classes. We're talking about 3 weight classes at this point. So come on, man. Everybody just stay in your weight classes. Fight who you're supposed to fight. Charlo, fight Tim Tszyu. Or if Crawford's moving up, fight Crawford. If, what's his name? Canelo, come on, it's time already. Fight Benavidez. Fight David Morrell. Everybody just stay in your divisions. There's plenty of good fights in those divisions. Let's knock it off already, man. Let's knock it off. I'm Waz for Waz Words Media. Peace.